Okay. Are you ready and about, Chris? Probably use the chat in Roll20 for talking and stuff. Okay.
Where's the map? I want my map!
It's right there. Big squares. We are in the
thing
white
about
void.
The thing about that is I don't believe I actually get like proper maps unless I'm a premium member, and so I will occasionally draw terrain. For now, it's pretty much all just going to be like describing stuff anyway. So.
Oh god.
So yeah.
It's usually how the first sessions are.
Oh.
Yeah. So I apologize for what. Oh yeah, you can draw. You can draw. This is fine.
Okay, what is going on? This is what happens when you give people too much power. Oh my gosh.
Now how do I erase it?
Oh,
that's
God.
quite monster we're facing right now. Oh my god.
We are officially 5. Okay. And I do not mean 5 people. We are 5. That is our age.
Someone had to do it.
How do we remove this stuff?
And that's like adding everybody's up.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fuck it, y'all. I'm just gonna turn the computer around. Y'all can. Wait, no, then I can't hear Chris. Okay. All right, fine. Whatever. You can have your drawings. It's okay. Anyway. Okay.
I forgot how to remove it.
Is there?
Okay, so let's see. Who feels punctual? Who feels like they would be there like first thing in the friggin' morning?
Not me.
Me. I'll do it.
You'll do it? Okay.
How do I clear this? Let me clear this. Why am I feel like they should be gone.
Go to the paintbrush and hover over it. It'll say clear drawings. I'm pretty sure you can clear it.
I don't see it. You can freehand.
Okay. Whatever.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you being the first one there, then I assume you'd get there and the guards would probably be kind of suspicious, kind of hesitant, because you're just like coming in clad in all this dark armor and you've just got like this kind of personality that's not very savory. Plus, you've shown me your sword. You've shown me your giant dark sword with its glowing blue crystal floating on the tip of it. You're going to be like, all right, hold up. You would, however, manage to have acquired a missive that is permission to enter the castle for the sake of applying for this particular job. It would pretty much just be like effectively a job request kind of form, and they'd give you an eye, but they'd let you pass. So you go in, they give you a little bit of direction on how to get to where you're going. It'd be fairly close to the entrance of the castle, though. So you go in, place is really ornate, red carpets, gold lighting and stuff. It's just a really nice castle. It's very other words.
Is it shiny?
It's very shiny.
Oh God.
Chandeliers here and there being probably the prime source of lighting. It would actually result in a fairly dimly lit place, not to the point that it would make it difficult to see in any regard. You would just kind of be moving through soft lighting. So as you're going about, armor clanking, getting looks from some of the people who are passing through, some of the like servants and stuff doing their best to keep their eyes averted. You would eventually find your way to what the fuck are you drawing now?
It's a castle.
Fine. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
But yeah, as you're traversing your way through the castle, you make your way to this single door, just a simple wooden door. I mean, kind of nice, but Anyway, you open the door, you step in, and there's just several people already in there waiting. As you come in, an attendant is stepping through a door towards the back that begins calling off a few names from a list, and as she looks up to see if anybody's approaching, she would just kind of like balk at you for a second and then go back to what she's doing. About 4 people getting up and going up to talk to her. Chances are you would probably find a seat, unless you would prefer to do something else entirely. Would you like to, it's just a fairly square room and just nothing particularly interesting. There's just a little bit of lighting, mostly it doesn't seem to be any kind of magical or technological lighting. It's just like candles and stuff on the walls, and small room, 20 feet by 20 feet, I guess. Small room as castles go. And chairs surrounding the perimeter of the room and a door on either side of it, the one that you came in and the one that the attendant and the 4 people that she had called had just gone through on opposite sides of the room. So, would you like to take a seat or do something else entirely?
I'll lean up against the wall that's to the left of the door.
Immediately next to the door?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. You would they would actually have already added you to the list and stuff. And you know that you're here fairly early on. It's probably like 8-ish in the morning. And the duration of these applications and stuff is until noon. And as you're waiting in there, it seems that people would occasionally come in, sit down for 2 minutes, and then get called back. Other people seem to be getting frustrated from waiting there for hours, perhaps. So it could be anywhere between now and noon before you get called back. Throughout the room, there would be there would be a variety of people, various races, various backgrounds that you could tell the difference between just by looking. There does actually appear to be at least 1 or 2 people, or at least one person that you would probably. Actually, you know what? Before I say this, give me an insight check. Just go ahead and throw insight. You guys having fun?
I'm not. I'm waiting for I'm here at the castle now.
And Jen, give me an insight check, dude. You
14.
Oh, it's right there and flip in front of me. I'm dumb. Okay.
What's the command for that?
You just click the skill. Just on the front page of your character sheet, you just there's the list of skills. You just click the name of the skill. Okay. So yeah, you would spot one person, a fairly well-built male. Seems actually exceptionally tall, and as you came into the room, you would have made eye contact with him briefly. He seemed to just kind of scoff at you, but he's just sitting there really proudly, honestly, seemingly like he's looking at you as though he has something to prove that he doesn't necessarily have to prove to anybody else in the room. So that would be going on. He wouldn't pay too much attention to you. Naturally, he wouldn't be trying to start a fight in the middle of a waiting room in a castle.
I would.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
That's not me.
I know, but it's fine. Anyway, okay. Chris, I know you. You're generally somewhat of a morning person, whether you like to be or not. So, you probably would have been the next one to, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell him he's wrong. Do it. Tell him he's wrong.
I mean, if you want to tell me I'm wrong, a couple hours. Okay, fair enough.
A couple hours silence first. Oh, I should probably make that part of my morning ritual.
It's a good thing to include. But yeah, that'll be why you're second and not first. So yeah, you would show up probably we'll say you were feeling a little bit uppity that day, maybe. So you got there probably like 9:30ish or something. Similar process to what he had gone through with less snide looks and stuff. People would be like, "Oh, hey, look, a halfling," and they might make a little bit of friendly conversation. You probably would cut your way out of it and then just like go on about trying to conduct your business for the day and make your way to the castle. The guards are friendly enough. They do ask to see your missive, which you would show them the one that the circle had given you. And they accept it, they acknowledge it, and they hand it back to you and send you on into the castle, give you directions on where to go. You would be greeted with the same kind of scenario that Azrael, was it?
Yes.
That Azrael had gone through. You just going through the seeing the servants walking around the castle doing their thing, keeping things clean, keeping things orderly. As it's getting a little bit further into the day, there would be a bit more of them moving about, as well as some more visitors coming into the castle for other kinds of stuff that they're taking care of. You make your way to the same waiting room. Chances are you would see a giant towering hulk of spiky black armor standing immediately next to the door.
Is that Jen?
Yes. Have you seen his character?
Can I have a floating chair of bones?
A floating chair of bones?
Like an undead corpse, just made a floating chair made of undead.
If you want a floating chair of bones, I'm going to need a spell for that. I'm sorry.
No, I want to be moving around. I don't want to be walking around.
I mean, your clothing can be pretty much whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
I would have said your armor could be whatever you want it to be, but you don't have any. So, yeah. So anyway, so you come in, you find your way to the room, and so yeah, it's a waiting room. Chairs all about the room, and a few fairly large people. Actually, I'm gonna do something.
Nate, what are you doing?
I made a art.
Okay. Yeah, as you're coming into the room, your cape gets caught in the doorway, and you probably would have a little moment of agitation as you like fight with it and like open the door back up and just like fuss to yourself about this damn cape.
Okay.
Yes, you still have the cape. You haven't gotten rid of it yet.
No capes. No capes.
I try and help her out of her situation.
Yeah, you're right next to the door. If you would like to assist her with her cape in the door situation, you're right there.
I would, but I have to be exactly 5 minutes late, so...
I slightly open the door for her so that way she can get her cape out and not be stuck.
And then they kiss.
What?
Probably not, but...
Oh god. What is going on?
You do have the tools to do that. Your outfit will probably look like trash afterwards, but I don't suppose you care too much about that. So, do you want to destroy your wardrobe in the middle of a waiting room?
No, can I just cut it off?
So.
Okay. All right. You have some somewhat velvety red material that is going to be part of your inventory then. So yeah, how would you like to position yourself in this room now? Anywhere near the big scary gentleman that assisted you with the door, or off in some dark corner, or on top of someone's head? What would you like to do?
Don't you dare! That dark corner is mine.
I'll go ahead and tell you it's not terribly important, but yeah, wherever you're comfortable. Oh wait, people watch. Okay. So yeah, you would find a corner to go and
No.
You settle into a corner where you proceed to hack off your cape, and then stuff it into your backpack while you're waiting.
Hope you can sew.
Okay. Let's see. So if you are you legit going to be exactly 5 minutes late, Nate?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Everybody can see me.
I mean, okay. So does that mean you're going to be here at 12:05 then?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because that is specifically like after all of the meetings have concluded. So
Oh, shit. But the meetings are starting at noon, like...
The meetings will conclude at noon.
Well, then
Because
start
they're pulling
time
them in
would have
one
been
by one.
before, so... I'll just show up last. Maybe I'm like 1 minute prior to noon, then. I'm here, I swear.
We're probably going to be doing this a whole lot at this rate. So, we'll say lower is good. Okay, I'll have that in mind. All right, so the two of y'all find your situations, and you are sitting and waiting for a little while.
Because of me.
Higgs. Let's see, it was Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gravedigger is rattling his way through town. Actually, yeah. What are you wearing?
Ooh.
Wow, guys, put me on the spot.
Well, you're up next, so go ahead.
Yeah, you're up.
Might as well ask ASL while you're at it.
Well, I mean, we already know your sex. We already know your location because you're kind of male. You're dead, so you're probably not like fully functioning male. And your location is currently the Kingdom of Torgrin on your en route to the castle. So, as far as your age, I don't know. I assume a couple of 100 years.
Yeah, about 300. That seems about right.
Okay.
307.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So now we got your ASL. Can we have your appearance as well?
Damn.
Would you like me to conjure up something? Because I actually do have kind of
it's like it didn't want anything flashy. Just like a robe, like the standard like mage robe.
Okay.
Over the hood. But I still want my chair, my bone chair.
I would say just
I want my skeleton chair.
I would say just picture Einzel Gone, and there you go.
What?
That sounds a little bit more flashy than what he was trying to describe.
I'll go with Einzel Gone. Yeah,
Overlord.
Oh god, yeah, I'll go with that outfit.
Okay, so you're walking through town wearing your brown cloak, tattered and looking like garbage. Okay.
Yay!
He gave you the Shaltir fight.
Yeah, he gave me the shelter one.
You didn't say which Eins.
Fine. I want his black robe.
Okay, fine.
On it. I want that giant black robe.
I'm gonna laugh. Higgs is gonna get mugged as soon as he steps out.
Anyway, so you're walking through town in a hooded robe. It'll be black. And so you're just making your way through. Being a revenant, your complexion is such that a lot of people would probably be a little bit hesitant, but you are also you used to be an Eladrin, so you're still some degree of pretty. So people are, at the very least, willing to tolerate you. And that would shine through in the kind of attitude you get as you're passing through town. Nobody would really go out of their way to communicate or interact with you, but they wouldn't like... the one that's in the castle.
I don't like you breathing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you go through the town, you make your way towards the castle. The guards would just kind of eye you for a second, but they would take the same missive that you had handed, or that the ones before you had handed to them. They'd look it over really quickly just to make sure it's legit and be like, okay. And they give you directions in. So you go in, get to the waiting room, and you know the deal. What you doing?
I give Jen the stink eye.
Okay.
And then I go to the darkest corner in the room and I wait there. And just stare at everyone.
Looks like Jen's getting lucky.
I mean, getting lucky is a strong term. He's like making enemies just straight out the gate.
I just shrug it off and let it go.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay, so yeah, you find a corner to brood in and wait things out. So a little bit of time passes. And so yeah, as we're approaching, we'll say like about 10:45 or so. Several people have been called. Several people have gone out. Many of them like sneering at each other as they seem to be walking out of the room with purpose. Some of them actually like ready to work together. Some of them having a mixture of the two. But regardless, pretty much everybody moving in what seems to be a group of 4. And so somebody ends up coming out to coming out of the opposite door and calls into the room, Azriel, Gravedigger, Chris, Oliver, and then looks up to make sure that all of the names that she had just called get recognition.
And then I bust in and say, I am here! And throw some rose petals.
You would like to.
Oh god.
You know what? Fuck it, fine. You burst in, make a scene, get a lot of stares from a lot of people.
Especially me when the flower petals, most of them literally fall on top of me. Standing right next to the door.
Sorry.
I
hear they make a good soup.
Ew. No.
What? Rose petals?
I feel like
Rose
I heard
water is
rose
nice.
petal
He's a bard,
soup
he's ignorant.
somewhere.
Rose
Kinda
water is
fits.
nice though.
Okay.
Maybe it was water. I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say that you had gotten there a little while prior and had been waiting outside of the door, listening for your name. Okay, and so you burst in, making your dramatic entrance.
I was right
I'm gonna
there.
hazard a guess and say that some of the prospective party members probably like gave you a glare at the dramatics.
Ooh, they like me.
But anyway, the 4 of you are led through that door and down another brief hallway to a larger door that opens into a audience chamber. It's the king is sitting on the opposite side of the room and is in what is a smaller throne than what you would probably have expected to be in a throne room, but still an ornate chair regardless. To either side of him on each side of him is a pair of guards, so 4 total. Holy shit, Nate! What the fuck are you doing?
What is going on? Hey.
Arts, that is what's happening. Somebody fell. Okay.
Oh my god, what is going on?
You were apparently slightly halt. Okay.
Yeah, slightly hot. We mentioned this earlier.
Okay. All right. So y'all are led into this audience chamber, and there's 4 guards flanking the king. You are instructed to stand at a particular point in the room that gives you about 15-20 feet away from the king. And he's looking kind of exhausted. He not only does he look like he's probably tired of these meetings, but he's probably also tired just from he has bags under his eyes as though he's been missing sleep. And he's just looking generally just stressed and worn. But he does look to you, and with all of the politeness that he can muster, he says, "Thank you for coming. I appreciate your willingness to take this job. The details of it are that my Jester has gone missing. He has been missing for a week and a half now, and I do not know anything of the whereabouts for him. He does have good relations with many of the villagers, or many of the denizens of my kingdom. I shouldn't say villagers. He has good relations with many of the denizens of my kingdom, and it's very probable that they would be more than happy to work with you to find his location. Should you find him and bring him back here alive, I will award the lot of you 3,000 gold to split amongst yourselves.
Gross.
Should you bring back his body, I will. Should you not be fortunate enough to find him alive, and you instead bring back his body, I will award you 2,000 gold instead, and the extra 1,000 will be used to perform a funeral for him.
Stingy.
Do you have any questions for me while you are here? Is there anything that I could do to assist you, and are you still willing to take this task?
Can you increase the gold?
I immediately
More
kneel
gold.
down with sword in front of me, kind of like a Templar praying, and immediately say, "I'll take on this task, my king."
The king would kind of start in his seat a little bit at the sight of the sword that you presented, which everybody in the party is probably now getting a. They would have gotten at least a glance at it. Anybody behind you would have gotten a good look at it, I'm sure. But this would be like the first good look they would get at it. As a matter of fact, you want to post the picture of it into the D&D thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Swap it, or I want to add to it.
Yeah.
Do you know his name?
The king?
Yes.
I actually didn't come up with a name for him. Fuck.
Just
Ringlebert
give,
the
just
Third.
The
get
king
one
is
off the
called
top of your head.
King Fuck it.
Afukat is how you pronounce that.
He'll be Bernard. King Bernard.
Okay. That's the sword I have, by the way. It's in the Discord for the D&D chat.
Hey, that's a nice sword.
Yeah.
Fancy.
But yeah, the king starts at the side of the sword, and kind of just cuts a glance to the necromancer in the room. He first acknowledges the acceptance of the request and nods gratefully, says, "I thank you for that, and I hope that the rest of you are just as willing. Even though the reward is fixed, I apologize." And the last of it is said specifically to our necromancer.
Don't mind him, Bernard. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. Are there any other concerns that I could assist you with?
I want more gold.
Higgs, mind.
Always with the gold.
Damn it! What the hell's his name?
What, Higgs? His name is
Yeah,
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. Gravedigger, mind your place.
No.
If the reward is not adequate for you, then perhaps there are other jobs that you would be willing to take elsewhere. I'm afraid that the reward as it is would be quite generous, I feel. If there is something you would prefer to have instead of gold, perhaps I could arrange something, but it would be of very similar value.
I'll take it. Fine. I'll take it.
I appreciate your cooperation. He does seem fairly bitter about it, but he is also accepting. In the absence of any other questions or concerns or requests or anything, he would give a gracious thanks to you for coming and speaking with him, and would encourage you on your way. Let's see. Oh, right. That was one other thing. He would gesture to the attendant who had brought you in, and the attendant would nod to him and would draw out a small slip of paper. Upon the paper is a very well drawn portrait of a young human male. He looks very healthy, very young. It is colored in. He's a young boy. He's young. He's like in his late teens, and he's got like blonde hair, a very fair face, and a jubilant smile. The clothes that he's wearing in the portrait are very brightly colored, mostly in reds and golds. And it seems to be the running theme for like the colors and like the royal colors in the kingdom. You might also recall that those would be the colors for the flag of the kingdom. But they present one to each of you. It is a portrait that is then explained that it is a portrait of the king's jester, and that if you were to present that picture to anyone or even mention the jester to them, if they have any affiliation with him at all, they are sure that they would recognize that.
I do have one question, actually.
Well, now would be a wonderful time to pose it. What is your question?
Did we get his name?
Bernard?
Of the jester.
Oh.
The jester was in fact adopted into the kingdom, and at a young enough age that we did not have contact with his parents for a very long time. And so his name as he was growing up in our castle was not particularly known. Early on, he was simply known as the boy because he was the only one of his sort within the castle, and everyone recognized him as that. Over time, he became very, very fond of being entertaining, of doing what he could to draw attention and garner smiles. And so he simply evolved from the boy to the jester. And that is what we know him as through most of the kingdom. And so I assure you that is what the rest of the kingdom will recognize him as.
Good to know.
And
I'm sorry to be a beller once again, old friend, but I do have a couple questions myself.
please, go ahead.
Do you happen to know where his last known location was? And would you happen to know if a man named Alterac passed through here?
I am afraid that the name does not ring any bells. The denizens of the kingdom are much more likely to know what specifically has gone on. We are issuing this request to as many groups as we can who are willing to aid in this cause, because we do not get as much information flow here as many other places in the kingdom. I do know that he frequently helped out in a variety of shops and visited several other cities in the kingdom. He very quickly gained the ability and permission to freely travel the kingdom as he saw fit, and though he spent much of his time in the castle, his last known whereabouts could be anywhere within the kingdom. He did have many friends, though, and it's very possible that any of them would have known specifically, would have been the last contacts that would have been had with him.
Why are we saving this guy again?
Because the king wants it.
The jester
Also money.
Because
is like a son to the king. That's why.
Right.
that is exactly it, yes.
Alright.
I happen to know the jester myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Prey winning this kingdom back when I was a great paladin.
Okay. Are there any other questions that you would like me to answer? I would be happy to address them if there are any. if I am able.
I just want to get started.
Okay. If that is the case for all of you, then please, I would be quite happy if you were to begin quickly. Thank you again, and good luck in your searching.
Yes.
We'll bring him back. Don't worry.
I pray that you do. He gestures to the attendant, who then stands before you and gestures to the door behind you, ready to lead you back the same way that y'all come. You would then be led to the waiting room and thereby encouraged to head out into the city.
As I leave the room, I throw some more rose petals.
Oh no.
And now I'm out. Have to get some more somewhere.
One of the maids passing by the area kind of can't help but cut her eyes at you as she kneels down and begins sweeping up the rose petals.
God
Sorry,
damn it,
I
Nick.
hand her 1 gold coin, and I will subtract it from my amount.
Can I use Burning Hand on Nate?
I mean, yes, but he's probably close enough to the maid right now that you're probably going to hit her too.
God damn it.
And in addition, you're indoors, standing on plush carpet and all of that kind of fun stuff. So,
Fancy
If you
carpets
would-
are very flammable.
if you would like to spend a spell slot to conduct arson, by all means.
I would. Remember, don't put that past me. I might do so. I might do so.
I will keep that in mind, then. Keep the rose petals to a minimum.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, y'all now have the run of the town.
Right.
You have been specifically informed that the townspeople are quite fond of the Jester and would probably be more than happy to help. So yeah, it's a bunch of people in town. Anybody you want to talk to, or anything you would like to do to begin with?
Yay, time to extort and embezzle money from the citizens.
I mean, shopping. Probably ask at the tavern. Somebody there might have seen the Jester.
Yeah.
People like me there.
Let me look at the skills.
Best
So do
places
the
to
ladies.
ask.
Okay.
Hit up shops.
That
Yep.
too.
Hit up shops.
I
Yeah.
need to
I'll
figure
go-
what it's.
I'll go
Gravedigger,
walk around
go
the
hit up the
back
shop.
alleys and talk
See
to
if
people.
anyone asks some questions. Nate, you go with.
Chris is her actual character name, if that's what
Okay.
you're saying.
Nate, or Oliver, go with Chris to the tavern. See what's going on there. I'm gonna go to the town square.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
walk through the alleys and talk to people.
Okay. Everybody
I'll
make
keep a close eye on you, Gravedigger.
Everybody make investigation checks. I believe that'll probably be the best place to start off.
Oh, how do I do that?
Click on investigation.
Where is that on here?
It's below intimidation, above medicine.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Submit.
Normal roll.
Yeah, normal
Yeah.
roll. Oof.
Welp.
There we go.
Okay.
Yay, 15.
So what is it? Like, what's a pass or fail on that?
It would basically be like a varying amount of success. Like, 7 and 9 are not going to get a whole lot. 12 is going to get something. 15's actually got a good result. And with what Higgs had chosen to do, it's God.
Gonna have a lot of work for Dimes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
around.
Okay. So
Dimes. Remember my mug idea? Look where he's at.
my what?
I'm gonna get
Mug
mugged in
idea.
the
Look where he's at.
I can't hear you over Higgs laughing. Anyway.
He said, remember his mug idea.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
tries to mug Higgs, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. So we'll start with Oliver and Chris. The two of y'all had gone around to various taverns. Everyone that you asked ended up definitely speaking well of the Jester. Very few people knew specifically anything about what had gone on with him over the past, couple of weeks. They had definitely spoken of others coming in and asking about it. A couple of them remembered directing the other adventurers to like a particular section of the shopping district and stuff. They said there was just like a couple blocks down that way. There's several collectible shops. I think he helped out in a couple of them over there. It's an obscure place, but I don't know. The kid was strange. He liked it over there. Maybe you'll find something. So they basically give you a little bit of direction on what you might be able to do. Jin, where did you say you were going to be going?
Town Square.
Town Square. Okay. Town Square, bustling as it is at this particular time of day, it's super busy. A lot of the people have been a little bit difficult to stop and interact with. You might have had a little bit of trouble getting some solid information from them that way. Eventually, you did find out though that despite not knowing specifically anything that had gone on with him, that he did have a particular penchant for working with children. And so the children of the city might actually it's very possible that these kids would have been somebody that he would have ended up communicating with prior to going places. That would have actually been the primary thing that you would have gotten. Although it is actually a fairly promising lead because it's general as it is. I don't know. I shouldn't say too much more because we'll get to that. Probably immediately, and for better or worse. Higgs.
Yes.
Okay. So, in your venturing into the alleyways, you would have found
garbage.
A kind of snobby and rather overly confident young boy, very early in his teens, like probably 12, maybe 13. And little half-elf kid is looking up to you, arms across his chest, with two kids on either side of him, significantly younger than he is, looking visibly more shaken than he is. And they're staring up at you. And they're just like, "What you doing out here? This is my place. What you doing out here?"
I'm actually thinking about using one of my spell slots.
Oh, God.
Burning hands.
I'm thinking about burning hands right now.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna use cause fear right now.
Really? Okay.
Cause fear. No. I'm good. I'm not gonna cause fear. Hold on. I'm gonna ask the. Can you step out of my way?
I done told you, this is my territory.
All right, cause fear.
Jesus Christ.
Cause fear. I'm using it.
I fucking hate you. Okay. At least you're not killing them.
Yeah. Cause fear. Get out of my sight.
Okay. Are you using your racial one or a spell slot?
I'll use my racial.
Okay. Let's post that, please, so I know what I'm dealing with.
Mm. There we go.
Well, Dimes, looks like you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I did.
Ooh,
God.
fudge.
Wisdom saving throw, or become frightened of you until the spell ends. Concentration 1 turn. Okay, Kid's bold as fuck, so we're doing that. Okay, I assume you're casting it specifically on the middle kid.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, he's like, you start uttering these dark words towards him, and he just kind of like shudders and then like turns around and he just bolts down the alley. The other kids are like, "Wait, Norin!" and turn around and start chasing after him. And so yeah, you just ran off some kids.
That's fine. I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with them.
Okay. So that was what happened for you with your investigation in a back alley.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. You did actually specifically say you were keeping an eye on him. So, you know what? Asriel,
Yep.
you hear some childlike screams coming from a nearby alley, a couple of blocks away from you. Would you pursue these sounds?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you chase down the sounds and you end up seeing 3 kids pretty well spaced out, one of them very clearly terrified and the other 2 just following after him. After a couple of seconds though, the one in the lead seems to be like kind of snapping out of it. He like looks over his shoulder and he's breathing heavy. And the other kids catch up to him, and they're just like, "Hey, what's wrong? You never freak out like that." And he's just like staring back into the alley. He seems very just thrown off. And this is happening just kind of in the middle of the street. They would have crossed the street, probably dodging some traffic, like some foot traffic in the process. But yeah, so they're on the opposite side of the street from the alleyway that they had just come out of.
Excuse me, kids. Do you know what? Why were you running?
Let's see. What are the odds you would have run into this kid before? Because you said that you would.
Oh, I should have said kids. But
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
I frequent the kingdom, I actually know Norman.
Norin.
Norin, excuse me.
Yeah. Norin. Okay. Shut up, Higgs.
I should have named my character Nurgle.
Yeah.
Nah.
Anyway, you guys. Okay. So yeah, you would be. Do you wear your helmet regularly, by the way? Because your character art has a helmet there.
Yes.
Yes.
Only when I choose to take it off.
Okay. All right. He. So his eyes kind of divert from the alley to the to you, looking up towards where your voice had come from. So obviously he immediately sees the helmet and he just goes, "Ah!" And he like calms down for a second and he's like, "I ain't running from nothing. I ain't scared of nobody."
Norin, it's okay. It's me. And then I immediately take off my helmet.
Okay. So you take off the helmet and he's like, "Oh. I don't know. some dude just like started. I don't know. He was. I don't know what happened. I don't remember right. He just seems like really just phased by whatever had just happened. But yeah, so that's his reaction. Sorry, I need to stop jammering.
You're fine.
But yeah, the other kids are just like sitting there. It's like, you never abandon your territory. What happened, man? He's just like not sure what had happened.
And then I kneel down to the other two kids and I lightly talk to them very lightly. Did either of you two hear any chanting or dark whispers?
Yeah, there was this guy in a black hood, and he came up and he told us to get out of his way, and Norrin's not going to get out of his way, so he started like mumbling something, and Norrin took off.
Okay. One more question for either of you three. Would you happen to know anything about the Jester that's been around here?
Okay.
Any information will help.
Let's see.
You want me to roll investigation?
No, actually, I'm reviewing what. Right. Okay. Okay, Norrin, seeming to snap out of it at mention of the Jester, tells you, just kind of goes into another rant. He's like, "Oh yeah, I ain't seen him in a while. I don't know what's been up. I don't know what happened to him, but last time I saw him was like almost 2 weeks ago, I guess. I don't know, something like that. He was helping out at that old goblin's shop. It was just that curio shop down the road. And he gives you like some rough directions over to him. He would probably punctuate it with like, you know, the one. And it's entirely possible you would actually remember just a senile goblin who runs a curio shop in the area.
Yeah, I remember him.
And he's like, I don't know about him. I've been by his shop a couple times lately. He seems weird. I don't know. But yeah, I remember Jester just helping out over there a couple of times, at the very least, and like right before he stopped coming around. I don't know where he is.
Okay. I give them all each 2 gold pieces each, and I thank them for their time, and then tell them to.
Tell them to what?
And then tell them to stay away from that alley. Let me take care of the man in the black robe.
Well, they're a little bit surprised at you giving them money, but they thank you for it. And they immediately start talking about sweets.
Oh, kid.
They're kids. Okay. Higgs, what path would you have taken down this alleyway after scaring off some small children?
I was muted.
Am I muted?
No.
No,
I was.
Oh.
I didn't say much though.
What do you mean by path? Is there a fork or is there?
Well, I mean, like it's basically just like alleyways behind buildings, and so the buildings have a little bit of space in between them. So, like, it would fork in a few different directions. You would basically be like in a network of alleyways behind the shops of the city.
Oh, well, in that case, after I scared off the kids, I noticed someone else running in a different location. I guess someone was watching over us, so I followed that person.
You okay?
So I went the opposite direction. There was a fork. I went in the opposite direction from where the kids are going.
Higgs is breaking script.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's
the alleys wouldn't be particularly populated other than those couple of kids who were hanging out. It's a relatively just safe and empty alleyway, which is probably why they make it their quote-unquote territory. And so, yeah, there wouldn't have been another person spying on you. If you're that paranoid, then by all means, go right ahead.
I could be paranoid. Where do I go? I'll just continue down that alleyway and just look around.
Okay. All right. Would you like just kind of linger there for a little while, just looking for something happening in the alleyways?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that probably makes your job easy then, Jen.
It's just,
Okay. So you would pretty easily find a wizard just kind of hanging out in the middle of an alleyway behind some buildings.
and then?
Gravedigger, did you scare
Yeah.
those 3 kids?
Yeah, what of it?
Christ, man, how many times have I told you you need to keep your spells in check? Those kids
Yeah.
could have valuable information to this case.
Oh, didn't seem like it.
Well, I just picked up some information that the last time those kids saw that Jester has been 2 weeks, and the last time they saw him was at a curio shop with that crazy old goblin.
Hmm.
Now, have you seen anything in this alley that's suspicious?
Probably near that goblin's curio shop over there.
Alright, then you're coming with me.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Keep your spells to yourself.
Don't make me use my burning hands.
I immediately unsheathed my sword and lifted at his throat.
You don't scare me.
Do you want to bet? You're
Yes.
already undead. It won't be hard to make you that again.
I'm already acquaintance with death. I'm not afraid of you.
We'll see about that.
Alright, let's keep going.
We're off to a wonderful start. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't like each other.
I mean, it seems like you just don't like people. Of course, I mean,
I don't like anyone in general.
I'm glad I set you up with 8 charisma.
Yeah, -1 charisma.
Yeah, -1 ability modifier to it.
Oh god.
Anyway. So it sounds like y'all are on your way over to that curio shop. Incidentally, it would be in the same neck of the woods that Chris and Oliver would have been told about, that the Jester did like to frequent. Y'all didn't get anything anywhere near specific, but you would have the opportunity to head over to this particular area.
It was definitely because of our info. Definitely.
Jesus. Okay, so yeah, it's not as bustling as some of the shopping areas that are closer to the castle. It's a bit further out, and the wares are a little bit more obscure, but not any less practical for the most part. There's some curiosity shops. There's actually a couple of souvenir shops, like as you get closer to the border of the city. Those don't ever really end up being all that popular, but they're there.
Question.
Ooh,
Sure.
Chotskis.
The what?
Chotskis.
Ignore Nate.
Oh. The spells that are prepared, do those change daily?
You can change them daily, yes.
Okay, but since I've already set them, they're already here for the day, right?
Yep.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Cool. I just needed that clarified.
And you can only change them, I think it's after, what, a long rest?
Yeah. At the end of a long rest, you have the opportunity to select new spells to have prepared,
Okay.
which is
8+ hours, I think.
6+ hours actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, on average, an adult is fairly well rested after 6 hours, and so after 6 hours of rest, you have finished a long rest. There are actually exceptions to that. For example, there's like certain. I think if Higgs had been a regular Eladrin instead of an undead one, he would have had trance, which would allow him to remain semi-conscious for 4 hours and call it a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so y'all make your way specifically to this Goblin's Curio Shop, and Chris and Oliver would be entering this particular shopping area. There are some like food stalls. There's some and all the odd shops and stuff. There's some jewelers about as well. It seems like a place that would be one of the best places to go if you were looking to like decorate a house or prepare for an event. Would be like some of the major things that you would do in this area. So it is getting some traffic, but it's not as much as something like a farmer's market that would be elsewhere in the kingdom or something like that. So there's some foot traffic, but not too busy. So yeah, they're headed directly to that place. You know what? They stick out so much. I'm not even going to make you make a perception check. Y'all would see two familiar heads heading into a particular shop. Would you like to check other shops while they're in there, or would you like to pursue them and see what's going on?
I'm assuming that's directed at Chris and
Yes,
Nate.
Chris and Oliver.
Okay.
What do you think? Looks for
Well-
oddities. Does the shop has oddities? Do we
Yeah,
go into that shop?
Nate, you are an oddity.
I mean, yes, obviously. That's why people love me.
I mean, it's true. Okay.
All right, great.
Everybody loves the rose petals. Come on.
Okay. Let's see. Oddities that would be out like in the front of shops and stuff. You would probably see one shop that's got like some dream catchers and things along those lines, like a couple of decks of tarot cards. It would be another one that might have just like some really out of fashion house decorations. Like you might see like a bead curtain instead of a doorway, like in the doorway for this particular shop, and that would probably give you some good ideas of the kind of decorations that would be inside of it.
Beads are nice, but not really helpful.
Let's see. There would be another shop that would be seemingly quite proud of its vases. The one that they had gone into would let's see. Oh, I'm blanking on other oddities. Probably should have done that one earlier.
Shrunken
Feck.
heads.
Shrunken heads, pig's feet.
You know what? Yeah. It would have some taxidermy outside of it. That would be the kind of thing that would be the kind of thing that would be outside of it. So you would see like stuffed animals and stuffed animal parts, and just some really like you would probably the strangest thing that you would see hanging outside would be what would appear to be a stuffed cow stomach.
Probably follow them into the other store.
This is the kind of stuff I see at my mother's place.
Okay, so Oliver has suggested going into that particular store. You following that one, Chris?
The one that.
You dispute it.
What's her face?
Nope.
Okay. Guess we're not following it too.
Okay, so Chris is not interested in that.
We go.
Am I near Nate? I'll go in with him if I'm there.
Okay, so. Oh, well, I mean, if y'all are going to the Goblin's place thing, like the taxidermy place is where y'all just walked into, Higgs.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought this was a goblin.
So we're in the curio shop. They just left.
Okay.
Well, they would have just arrived to the this particular shopping district and would have seen y'all going into the.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so
so
are we
like
going after them, or are we going into a completely different shop from the one that they're in?
It sounds like no, y'all are going to a completely different shop, or at least Chris wants to go to a completely different shop. I mean, y'all can.
Okay, I'll go with. Oh, I stop for shopping at weird stores. Sometimes you can find
Okay.
bulk rose petals. On the cheap. I'm always needing more of
So
those.
yeah. Jesus Christ, how has it come to this? All right. Anyway,
I
are you
use them for one of my spells, okay?
okay? So, are
Suddenly we've
you
gone Sailor Moon.
anyway?
To be
Are
fancy.
you going to? So, are the two of y'all going to stick together, or rather, Oliver? Are you sticking with Chris because she seems
Yes.
to be going elsewhere?
Going
Yes.
to
Okay.
the other shops.
Okay. Um. So I'm pretty sure that Chris is going shopping and you're going investigating by the sound of it. Does that sound about right?
I'm going shopping with her.
Okay.
Bye. Just know she said bye.
Off to a
Okay.
great start already.
I'm not sure I
Okay.
like that I trust the one that mm, spiky and nah. It's not my
Okay.
jam. I like rose petals. Come on.
All right. So y'all go off shopping at some strange stores. I will come up with some shit that is available for y'all to buy, or if you come up with something that you want to purchase, I will figure out prices.
Ooh, the one little bag that has like random stuff in it for spells. Mostly
Oh,
because I
component
need one of
pouch?
those. Yeah, that's the one.
That would be pretty easy to acquire, and
'Cause
with
I don't
these
have a
being
feather.
out of these shops, yeah.
While you're figuring that, I need to be right back really quick.
Okay.
I'll take one of those. I'll take 3 of those bags.
Well, you already have one. You only need one. Like the
Oh.
contents of it don't get consumed.
Yeah, I don't have one, but
I mean,
need one.
if you want more, then you're more than welcome to go out and acquire them. But it's extraneous, is all I'm saying. If you want them, have at it.
I need one in case I fall off a cliff so I can cast Featherfall. I have had people in the past attempt to throw me off a cliff for reasons I'm unsure of.
Right, Nate? Mm.
Okay.
I trade the camera for something.
You can try. I'll get persuasion check.
Cape. No,
All right, I'm
that's
back.
fabulous. I don't need a cape.
He lies.
Yeah. There. Oh God.
Persuasion 3. No.
You shove the fabric in the shopkeeper's face, and they encourage you to please check out their other wares.
Can I ask them if they have any
No,
rose
but
petals?
she's haggling.
I don't
There's-
tell that works.
The shopkeeper is becoming less and less interested by the moment
Can I
in
try
your
and-
cape fabric.
Can I try and charm the shopkeeper so they'll actually take it?
Wait.
On her
Can we
behalf.
do an intimidation check? Chris, do an intimidation check.
You have the option to if you would like to make your own charisma, your own persuasion check to like back it up or something. Oh
I
God.
don't
Never
need
mind.
to.
She got a 22 in intimidation.
Oh my God. Oh. Oh shit. Okay.
So, Peter, how do you think they're going with their shopping?
Knowing Chris, I'm pretty sure she'll get something out of this.
He offers you 2 silver pieces for the fabric. He offers you 2 silver pieces for the fabric and for you to get out of his shop.
But what if I need to buy something?
Okay. He gives you. He takes the fabric, stares at it, takes the fabric begrudgingly, sets the 2 silver pieces on the counter, steps away from the counter, and points towards the door and says, "Please."
Oh,
Oh boy.
Oh
Goodbye,
my god.
shopkeeper. I guess I'm leaving now to...
A human bard and a halfling rogue walk out of a bar.
That
Oh my
was
god.
magnificent. Good job.
Okay. All right. You were +2 silver pieces. You can add that to your character sheet.
Could probably buy some ale with that. Maybe some fancy wines.
I mean, not necessarily fancy, but you can get wine for it. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the price on wine, but I'm pretty sure
Slightly
silver's.
fancy.
Yeah.
Even if it just says so on the bottle.
Kind of like how fancy ketchup is a thing.
Yes. It's the
Okay.
best kind of ketchup, obviously.
Okay. Anyway, so they continue on with their shopping. I assume, unless you would actually like to go and continue investigating instead of shopping. If you want to go shopping, by all means, have right at it.
I mean,
Is
if
that what
it's
y'all are
just a
doing?
pouch, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy would have that in his shop, but
That's all of really. Okay. Y'all go on a pursuit for some
component
component
pouch.
pouches, which would be fairly easy to track down in pretty much any of these curiosity shop kind of things. And so you also have some obscure things to look through. If we are leaving things to chance in terms of like the first shop that you went to, I'm going to say that you do not have access to the shop that had the vases out front. That will so we'll have other shops available to you. So yeah, if y'all have requests for oddities to have purchased for whatever reason, things such as general house decorations like vases and the like would not be on the table. Other things, we'll figure it out.
All I really need is the pouch of component stuff.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be any kind of an issue. You can go ahead and track down the price for that. If you'd like to haggle for it, that's up to you. We can handle that.
Let's see how much that is.
It's fairly cheap. I think it's like, I'm pretty sure it's less than 10 gold. 5 maybe? Might be 15. I don't know. It's around there.
I think I've got, yep, I got the items bookmarked. That be under adventuring gear?
Maybe.
Component pouch.
Oh, there it is.
25 GP.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, 25 gold pieces. Is that...
I'll attempt to haggle that down a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check, and we'll go from there.
I just click persuasion.
Yeah. If you would like to play it out, you're free to.
Let's see what that did. A 9.
Oh, I didn't actually do the thing that I had in mind to specifically do. Hold that thought. Quick thing about me as a DM. Things like okay, so roleplay is going to outweigh most things when I'm a DM. So like in a case like this, if you can do a really good job of convincing me that this component pouch should totally be for some smaller amount of gold, I'll work with you on that.
Your magic name.
Also, things to have in mind. As the DM, I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to win. I'm here to tell a story and to try to guide you through that story. I would love for y'all to see the entirety of the story, to see the entirety of the world, and to explore it in your own way at your leisure, and to have a grand old time in it. That is my goal. That is what I want to do.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
I'm up for
that
trying
said,
to persuade you with my words and such.
Alrighty. So yeah. Fucking no, buy it. 22. Anyway,
Oh my god.
uh, so proud of herself. Anyway, okay. So yeah, you bring this component pouch up to the shopkeeper, and so yeah,
I see this is 25 gold. Now, it would be really nice to have this for 20. For you see, occasionally, people have been known to try and throw me off a cliff for probably not great reasons. And I could really use some of the stuff in here for Featherfall, so I don't die. Because you wouldn't want this magnificence to die now, would you?
Don't do it.
Wink, wink.
Oh.
Don't do it.
I can play my lute for you a little bit if you'd like. Strummity strum strum.
Fucking bards.
I think we're all in agreement here. Let's toss him off a cliff.
Well, I'm sure the sound of your lute is.
I could throw.
Go away, Chris. Go away, Chris.
I would throw some rose petals, but I can't because I'm also out.
That's quite unfortunate that you have had people attempt to throw you off a cliff. I'm curious how you're standing here trying to haggle with me after such an experience.
Featherfall. That's why I need the feathers. I'm out. I lost it when I fell off that cliff that one time. Thrown. Definitely thrown. Always thrown. Never fell. Never misstep off a cliff. And no, that never happened. No.
You make a compelling argument. I would like you to make a deception check, actually.
Deception check. Ooh. Watch it be a low roll.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like very?
Nope.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Shit.
That's a fucking high pass. All right,
damn, Nate.
Work your magic. You got a lot of fucking work, my friend.
It sounds like you've been through some very troubling times, to be sure.
Yes, very much so.
I'll tell you what. You promise me you'll make some new friends, and I'll give this to you for 22 gold.
Let's toss him over the bridge.
Can do it. Yes. That will be fine.
You get the legs. I'll get the upper body.
I do have the sleep spell, I'll have you know. I think I do.
You know I'm immune to sleep. I'm immune to sleep.
He is. He can't be put to sleep magically, yeah.
Thunderwave.
Just so long as you're making some friends that are not throwing you off of cliffs.
Too late.
I'm sure that'll happen.
And so yeah, since you sounded like you were in agreement, you get the component pouch for 22 gold instead of 25.
So that's 30.
God, what is going on?
Welcome to D&D, my friend.
Yeah, it's just like you're just destroying Nate.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what's next?
Okay.
I think it's our turn.
So while they're off haggling, y'all have made your way into this slightly smelly shop with a grunty little goblin just kind of going around mumbling to himself. He's like cleaning things up, and then he'll go to the other side of the store and he'll clean something up, and then he'll go back to the first thing that he cleaned up and he'll clean it up again. And every time
really finicky.
Every time he goes to something to clean it up, he rearranges things, and then the second time he goes to it, he rearranges it back to exactly how it was before he had rearranged it the first time. And all the while, he's just like mumbling to himself, and he seems to like just kind of be grumbling, like incoherently, not even words. And he doesn't even seem to have noticed you come in. But yeah, he's going about his day, just like seemingly prepping his shop hours after it has opened.
I look towards Higgs and I go, check around the shop for me, would you?
Yes,
See if there's any clues here. Also, try and see if you can pick something up. I know you're going to need some stuff for your incantations. I lift up my fingers and put in quotes.
I'll
And then
take
I
it.
walk up to the desk and I greet the goblin. Hey, it's been a long time. Is that just you working here now?
Go ahead.
Huh? What are you doing here, Jeffrey? I thought you were getting a delivery for me. And he just like picks something up, carries it across the room, sets it down, and then continues like cleaning something.
Jeffrey? Have you gone senile, old man?
My name's not Jeffrey. When did you get here, Azrael?
You just called me Jeffrey, though.
What are you talking about? Jeffrey's off getting a delivery for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Whatever. What brings you here today?
We were just hired by the king to look into the disappearance of the Jester. He was here. I was talking to Norn not too long ago, and apparently this is the last time he came here in the past couple weeks. Do you have anything else to add to that, or?
As you're saying all this, he grabs his like the counter that's at human height. He like reaches up, grabs it, pulls himself up, and just like flips onto it, and just like sits cross-legged and just like scratches his face. And as he's listening to you, and he like scratches his chest, he scratches his ass, sniffs it, puts it back. He wipes his hand on his ass, and then goes,
Come on, do you have to do that while you're right in front of me?
Oh, God.
Look, I know we've been friends for a long time, but come on.
I would do that.
I know you wouldn't, GD.
GD.
Maybe you could actually teach this guy some manners too.
God.
Anyway, he seems to like kind of
kids.
He seems to be kind of going in and out of it, but he did actually like he did register what you had said to him though. And he was like, yeah, he was here the other day. He was helping me out, just talking about talking about You hear somebody whispering? And he just like looks dead at you, asking that.
No, I don't hear anyone whispering. And even if I did, I would know. Believe me, old friend, I would know.
But yeah, he was here. He was helping me out in the shop. He's got a good back, better than mine. So he helped me move some things.
That's all you've done in the past 15 years that I've seen.
Well,
Did you get any business at all?
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, they still let me have the building, right? And it seems to be just kind of like looking off, thinking, trying to remember his last sale.
Oh, boy. Look. All right.
Anyway, whatever. I got business to do. And he just kind of jumps down, and he's just kind of like quietly just kind of walking around the store, just like mumbling to himself. Each of you give me a perception check.
Oh, boy.
It's not going to be a difficult one. Just give me a perception check.
There we go.
There
we go.
Goes.
Okay.
Come on, Higgs, roll high.
I'm not going to roll high.
God damn it.
Okay.
No.
Higgs would just kind of hear a musical muttering. He wouldn't really catch what was actually being said. You actually would catch the little ditty that he was singing as he was going about his work. And he's just kind of singing to himself, "A fool without a king, the king of fools I sing, lost to time and wood, lost his rhyme for good." And he just kind of like mumbles through like a melody along those lines as he's going about his shop.
Where did you hear that song?
He doesn't actually immediately recognize that you were even talking to him as he's going about reorganizing his shop. So yeah, he just kind of keeps on working for a minute. If you'd like to push for him to, if you'd like to push to get his attention again, then you can.
I slam my fist on the desk and try to get to his attention and yell, "Hey, where'd you hear that song from?" in a very serious tone.
Well, you get a jump out of him. He drops what he was carrying. It kind of hits the ground and like bounces and slides off a little bit as he just like literally jumps, turns 180 degrees, and lands, looking at you like very startled. He's like, "Huh? What are you doing here, Jeffrey? I thought you went to get a delivery."
Jesus Christ. Look, we've been over this before. Where did you hear that song?
What
Is there
song?
a gas leak in here?
The one you were... Shut up, GD.
Gas leak in
Go look at the fucking tape over there, okay? Or hell, maybe you'd be interested in the stuffed cow's stomach that's out there.
Alright, I gotta take a look at that.
It is quite fancy.
Quiet.
It's 25 gold if you want it. I worked real hard on it. Had to get all the food out first. It made me hungry.
Of course you did. Anyway, that song you were just singing about a fool's king, or a king's fool, where did you hear that from?
What are you talking about? I haven't sung in years.
You were just mumbling tune. I'm right here. It's not that hard to hear.
You must be going senile. And he turns around and picks up the thing that he had been carrying, starts toting it across the room again. I will go ahead and write down the song that he sang, though. Just for those of you who are interested in having it for posterity or what have you.
Uh-oh. Don't eat the sand or it's game over.
But yeah, I will say that he's actually, if you make an insight check to in this situation, because he's acting pretty batty, and it seems like you don't believe him. But yeah, I would like you to make an insight check.
Oh.
9.
One.
You're not convinced that he's completely just gone, but it does definitely seem like age is getting the better of him. Even if you're not 100% certain that is the cause, you're on the fence about it a little bit in terms of like what you're getting from him.
Okay.
Nope.
Alright, well, do you happen to know where Jeffrey would be with that delivery?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you happen to know where Jeffrey is with that delivery? Or when he'll be back here?
Let's see. It's like, I don't know, he just left a couple minutes ago.
Okay. Do you know where he's taking that delivery to?
He's taking it here. He's bringing it. It's
Okay.
it's Actually, yeah. Yeah, he would tell you that it was coming from the butcher. And he doesn't seem to have any clue which butcher it is, but he does tell you that it's coming from the butcher, specifically how he puts it.
Okay. Immediately acknowledging, since I've been here before, I know exactly what butcher he meant because of the cow's stomach that's outside, which DD's looking at right now. Probably thinking about making into a bag. I thank the goblin for his time, and I'll see him again very soon.
Hey, yeah, thanks for your business. I appreciate all you bought.
But I didn't buy anything. I never do. But whatever. I walk outside, look to GD. So, you gonna buy it or what?
He's talking to you, Gravedigger.
What happened? I'm outside.
Yeah, I literally went outside, looked for you, directly talking to you about the cow stomach. So are you gonna buy it or what?
Nah, I'm fine. Nah, I'm good. I'm not getting it.
Alright. Let's go find the other two, see what the hell what trouble they're causing. Last time I heard there was some trouble going on at a general store. God forbid knows what the hell that elf halfling's doing. Where's her heart?
Smile. She smiles. Oh, God.
Lies. Slander of lies.
Especially that bard. You know what I mean,
Lies.
GD?
I'm gonna find a clip to throw him off.
Okay. So yeah, y'all would make your way back out into the thoroughfare outside. You probably would see them about the time that they gone into the second shop after like they would have taken a second to like pick a store. They go in, Chris does her negotiating, and then they exit, and about the time that they're going into their second shop is when you would see them. So wouldn't be too hard to catch up with them from there. If you wanted to.
Are they in time to see my magnificent
It's very, very hard not to see you.
No, my bargaining skills. Cause,
Oh.
It would be hard to try and find you in a haste. Even though I'd like to forget about you.
If they were to start walking at an average speed towards the shop that y'all are going into, then they would probably come in about the time that you were like strumming on your lute and getting the guy to agree to sell you the component pouch for 22 gold and suggesting that you get new friends.
Okay, because after that I'd be out.
Then I guess we book it to the front door.
Okay, so yeah, your two new friends are standing at the front door right as he was suggesting that you get new ones.
New friends? They're right there, see?
I'm grabbing his
Definitely
legs.
deserve that discount.
He's actually grabbing my
my
legs,
legs.
and I'm just
Dumb it.
smirking, waving.
I need those.
Yeah, the shopkeeper kind of licks his lips. He's like, fuck it, already made the sale, and just leaves it.
Yes, you did, good sir.
Best of luck to you, is what the shopkeeper says to you, and he...
Oh, you're so nice.
Who set the bird on fire?
That...
I did.
Okay.
That was... I drew it. He probably actually made it on fire, though.
Okay.
He used burning hands on the bird.
I didn't. I'm not even doing stuff. We're doing one-on-one.
Okay.
So y'all have caught up with each other. You've gotten a little bit of information, odd as it may be. So where to from here?
I'm following. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a good place to find info about Jester guy if he was young. Butcher shop. We'll do butcher shop.
We need to find that butcher shop since I already know where it is. We should be able to meet Jeffrey there since supposedly he already went out with a delivery,
Right.
or he's coming with a delivery there. So it's not too far from here.
Okay.
Definitely
Okay.
heard about the butcher shop.
I yell at the store owner, "It's nice seeing you again," and then we all take our leave.
Helmet on or off?
Helmet off. I'm having
Okay.
it off for a while.
Okay.
Because they're not gonna. People can't recognize me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. He's kind of checking out your company, and he kind of gives a slightly hesitant wave to you as you're on your way out.
And I wave enthusiastically.
Good job. He seems to give a more nervous wave back to you. Excuse me.
They did say kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Okay. As y'all are heading towards the butcher shop, you let's see. Yeah, okay. I'll make him not quite that senile. So as you're heading towards the butcher shop, you do end up actually running into a young man, probably close to the what y'all understand the Jester's age to be, a little bit older, and a little bit. He's fit. He looks like he's been doing some labor work for a little while now. And he's like just pulling a cart that's got some various animal parts on it that seem to be just like wasted stuff from after the butcher had taken what he needed from it. And it's just kind of like he's already like a couple of blocks away from where the butcher shop actually is. He's already en route back towards the curio shop.
I yell out to Jeffrey to try and get his attention.
Okay, no, calm down on the senile. It's fine. His name can actually be Jeffrey. It's okay. Okay, so...
Calm down on the senile. Oh my god.
I'm going to see a common theme here.
Mostly just with that particular character. Anyway, so Jeffrey kind of pauses where he is, and he stops and he hikes one of the bars for the cart that he's got just like under one of his arms, and he raises the other one and waves over to you. He's got a bit more of a load to transport than y'all do, considering the cart and stuff. So it'd probably be easier if y'all to cross to him. So he's kind of hoping that y'all would do that. Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
Did anybody else hear a kind of sound?
Yeah, that would be from Nate.
Eh?
That was...
Oh, did I accidentally
so.
hit the mic? I might have.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you did, but it was this really crazy, like, stuttering noise. Make a nature check and also a stealth check. Because I'm assuming that you don't want the guy to actually identify the fact that you were doing this. Is that correct? Or do you just not give a fuck and you're going straight in?
I'll do a stealth check.
Okay, fine.
Stealth check.
Okay,
Damn. Oh.
You go over and start like inspecting the meat, and he kind of turns around. Can I help you?
Oh, hey! Jester meat!
What are you?
So Death what's his face is being sneaky.
Okay, alright, that's a pretty good stealth check. Are you also investigating the cart for Jester meat, Higgs?
Yeah, I'm familiar with I'm familiar with carcasses.
Okay, actually, I said nature, but now I'm thinking about it, like, medicine is probably the thing. Yeah,
It would
give
be
me
more medicine than nature.
Yeah, Oh, that was another thing that I meant to mention about me as a DM. I am of the opinion that DM's word goes. So that like for final decisions, if DM says this is how it is, that's where it stops. That's where it is.
Meh.
However, I'm 100% up to discussion, debate, and such things in regards to, like what rules may be or should be, shouldn't be, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So okay. So while you manage to sneak over to the opposite side of the cart while Chris is perplexing the young man, and you get a good look at the various parts and kinds of meat and stuff, and it's very clear that it is mostly like deer and cow meat and stuff, and it like especially evidenced by like the kind of gristle it is and the fact that several of the parts have apparent amounts of fur on them. And that seems to be the common theme throughout the kinds of meat in the cart that he's pulling. Meanwhile, the gentleman is looking at Chris and is just what are you, Jester meat? Huh?
Jeffrey.
Huh?
Ignore her.
Okay.
Look,
He just like looks at you and points at her just with bafflement on his face.
back off the cart, please.
Jester could have been murdered, you know.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming Chris is just standing there for now. So Jeffrey is going to take your word for it. He's going to be kind of occasionally glancing out of the corner of his eye, though. So he looks back to you, Azrael, and he's like, "Okay, how you doing?"
Working with this ragtag team of crack detectives, I guess.
We're friends.
The only one.
How did we end up together?
Loosely.
Sleight of hand. Damn, she got 20 sleight of hand.
Okay, you have acquired a raw steak. That's what you. Actually, no, it's not even a steak. It's something that looks like it could pretend to be a steak, but it has way too much gristle to actually be good food.
Ew.
I know. I understand your tastes. You suck the marrow out of bones. I know.
Hey, that's where all the flavor is.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Fine, I'll
Remember
try the
this ain't
marrow
the
sometime. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you fucking whipped, dude.
Oh god. All
I
right.
love you, Dimes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you've acquired a chunk of awful meat.
All right. Back to discussion.
Pain.
Okay, let's get off the insanity train. Come on, everyone, back to reality.
Oh god.
Dimes, I have literally become the unappointed leader of this fucking group.
Apparently.
I love it.
I'm fine with that.
Are you having fun babysitting?
Yes.
With Higgs, yes.
Okay.
Oh god.
All right.
Let's go.
Anyway, back into character.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So you're speaking with Jeffrey about how wonderful your acquaintances are. Okay. We have some background music.
Bling, kitty, blong. Bling, 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 blong.
What the heck is
Jeffrey.
going on?
You were the last one to see the Jester.
Kitty, blong.
We just talked to the goblin that owns the curio shop, and he was helping you out. with the deliveries?
Oh,
What was the last time, or what happened when he curio shop?
well, the Jester and I don't really work together too much. We like interact every now and then. We'll cross paths, but I don't know. I hadn't actually seen him in the shop in a while. I think I remember seeing him on the way somewhere a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't really get the chance to talk with him or anything.
Okay. Okay. Oliver, put away the flute.
It's not
The
a flute.
flute?
It's a loot.
Alright, the lute, excuse me. I'm fucking inept.
Okay. He
Fine.
turns to Chris, who and what do you mean which way?
Put away my loot.
What's going on?
Well, I mean, pretty much all of the deliveries that
Toward the shop.
pretty much all the deliveries that the shopkeeper gets are from the butcher. It's just his excess stuff. So he was going to the butcher, I was going from it. And then that's generally I just do 1 or 2 deliveries a day for the goblin dude, and then I have other people that I help out. I don't really have a committed job to that shop. It's just he helps out at various shops, but he's not employed at one, and he gets a certain amount of pay from each of those shops for the amounts of help that he offers.
Okay.
It's basically what he tries to say. So yeah. And so it was basically like they were doing the same thing, just going at different times. So they were going opposite directions along the same path.
Okay. Did the last time you saw Jeffrey, even during these trips, did he act strange?
I mean, I know you meant the Jester rather than Jeffrey.
Yes.
Yes, that's right, Chris. Yes, he was headed to the butcher shop, and I don't remember too much. I feel like for maybe like a week or 2 prior to that, he had seemed a little bit distant, but it wasn't really anything major. It just, I mean, people get down sometimes. I figured he has to too. He's a very happy person, but he's still just human.
Okay. Well, I shouldn't take your time too long. The goblin will want you anyway, considering how crazy he's been going.
Yeah. We both have chores in front of us.
Man should just retire.
Yeah, I don't think he understands that idea, though. Anyway, I'm sure he's just got a couple months left in him. Goblins don't live very long. Anyway, enough of that, though. Best of luck to you in your travels. I should get on to him before he remembers that I'm gone.
You'll have me
All
in the
right.
group, so things will go fine.
So yeah, he resets the handles of the cart and starts back on towards the goblin's shop.
And I wave
And
enthusiastically.
we head towards the butcher.
Okay. Valuable meat. We have a hungry halfling. Hungry halflings. Hungry halflings.
Chris, I will take you to a goddamn Clockwork McDonald's. Now you just sit there and be patient. Don't make me turn this adventure around.
No, don't. Then I wouldn't have any more friends.
Shut up, Oliver.
Sir.
Dairy Queen.
God.
Dairy Queen.
Oh my god, what is going on?
God damn it.
Oh my god. Alright. Okay, alright, so y'all are heading to the butcher shop. Okay. So yeah, y'all would get to the butcher shop unimpeded, aside from just traffic and stuff, but whatever, it's traffic. So y'all get there, you walk in, the butcher seems to probably be in the back room if he's there at all. There's a couple of other workers. It's mostly one that's just kind of going around making sure everything's like as presentable as it can be, while another one's trying to boast about their fresh cut meat and stuff to the people passing by. Y'all are getting back towards the part of the market area that's a good bit busier, and so people are actually like wanting these goods. People are in this area trying to like buy groceries and stuff for their homes and such. And so this is one of the places that would be pretty popular for that. So yeah, here you are. You're at the butcher.
I look to the helper and I politely ask him, "Could you get the owner out here? I need to speak with him."
We
all right.
Yes,
Well,
we.
actually,
friends.
give me either persuasion or intimidation. Your choice.
I'll do persuasion.
Okay. Oh, okay. The helper seems a little bit confused, but is convinced that you do have a sincere need to speak to the butcher themselves, and so she steps back into the. She like opens the door and steps back. She spends a minute. If you listen super closely, you can hear some faint voices, but even if you do get like hella good perceptions check, you're not actually going to hear what's said. And even if you did, it's inconsequential. Anyway, they talk for a second, and there's a little bit of hesitation. Then the helper comes back out, says, he's taking care of something real quick, and he'll be right out.
Okay.
So a couple minutes pass, and then finally he comes out. He's wearing an apron that's like soaked in blood, presumably cow blood, and he's like wiping his hands off on a rag. Hey, what can I do for you?
Been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, you hadn't been in town for a while. What brings you through?
We're investigating the disappearance of the Jester, the king's adopted son.
Oh, he's missing. I knew I hadn't seen him for a while, but I didn't realize he was actually missing.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but he was working, from what we learned, he was working multiple jobs. And this is one of them where he would make deliveries to the owner of the curio shop. Have you noticed anything strange about the Jester's behavior?
Oh, I don't know if I can call it a job, really. He insisted on doing charity work, is what he. As far as his behavior, he never really stuck around long enough to see much. You know, as a matter of fact, there is one little odd thing. It didn't really matter where he was going to or from town. When he was heading out from the castle or back to the castle, he would always take this road right here, and he like gestures like right outside of their shop. And but now I think about it, last time I saw him, I remember seeing him leaving in the same direction that he normally goes, but I never saw him that evening.
Okay.
He was never headed back. I don't know, I just assumed maybe he had somebody he was staying with in maybe one of the other cities. I don't know.
Perhaps, maybe he had a lover?
Oh, I don't know about that. He was never the kind of person to make that kind of a bond with someone.
No, I'd have to agree with you. That would be too much of a stretch, even for him. Maybe take a look at what's going on in the back.
I think I'll take a look right here. He sets his hand on the counter and looks at the three individuals who seem to be enamored with the idea of smearing grease upon one another.
That's what
Guys,
friends
can you
do,
knock it off?
apparently. Or so I'm told.
Look, I'm really sorry about them.
Can I borrow that towel?
This group was just formed literally this afternoon,
We're friends.
and we were just recently hired by the. We're friends.
Yay.
That word takes Oh god.
Give me another persuasion check.
Oh god. All of us?
No, just him.
Yeah, it's decent.
Tell you what. You're lucky I know.
I'm really sorry about that,
No, it's fine. Just
but you know me.
I know him too.
call it 3 gold for damages.
3 gold.
3
I'll
gold.
make it 4. How about that?
Because we're
Okay.
friends.
God.
Okay.
What is happening?
Jesus Christ. And these
All right,
children
so I
are getting. So you give him 4 gold. And what was it you wanted him to do in the back room again?
We're going to investigate the back room because I got a gut feeling.
Oh.
I got a gut feeling of signs of foul play.
Foul play. What do you mean?
Well, sorry, just a gut feeling. Shouldn't have said signs of foul play until I got into the back.
Jesus. Okay. All right. All right. So he goes, he opens the door. Yes, foul play, playing with birds. Holy butts. Okay.
Didn't even mean to make it a pun, but hey, guess what?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
we're blaming Chris on that one. Fuck, censors won't allow it. Okay. So y'all are allowed into the back room. Alright, yeah, that's a thing that gets to happen. So I assume you get back there and are wanting to make investigation checks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so anybody willing to investigate the back room to see if there are signs of foul play?
I will help
One
my
way or
friend
another.
and investigate.
Yeah.
Because we are friends.
Would you like to, well... Yeah. Okay.
Higgs, you're next.
Well, man, here comes.
Ooh.
Okay. So it seems like Oliver and Azriel seem to be the most purposed in the way that they handle their investigations. The Butcher would be pretty content to direct y'all through the things that y'all need to look through, and he doesn't really seem to have anything that he's hiding. He's not really happy about feeling like he's under investigation, but here we are. And so he shows you his shop. Nothing really seems out of the ordinary. Doesn't seem to be any signs of any kind of meat other than what is apparently animal meat. His cooler has very specifically like slabs of cow meat that's waiting to be cut that are hanging in like a cooling area to keep it fresh as fresh as it can be. Place looks pretty clean. As far as like foul play and stuff. It doesn't seem to be any kind of signs of it.
But there's grossness on my hands now.
All right.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you would end up probably getting some gunk on your hands.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for letting us around.
Sure. I hope you
We'll
can
be on
find
our
him.
way.
Okay.
So do I. Believe me. I owe the king a favor. All right, guys, let's go.
He well, okay. There seems to be other questions being presented, so he would turn to the halfling and well, he just kind of helped out wherever they needed it. That old goblin down the road seemed to be one of his favorite spots, but he just helped out pretty much everywhere.
Well,
No, aside from the realization that I don't remember seeing him head back towards the castle, nothing specifically comes to mind in regards to him.
Okay.
I didn't really keep tabs on him very well. He would just come through occasionally, either help out or pick something up. Then I might not see him again for a week.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Of course.
We should probably get going, though. Unless one of you guys have a question to ask.
No.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Are we going to purchase any meat before we go? Or are we content with our gristly chunk of stuff and our body?
Actually, there is one more thing. Could I get about 2 pounds worth of ribs?
I don't eat.
Of ribs. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd pretty happily help you out with that. I'll be honest, I have no idea what to price that at. I'll get back to you on that, okay?
Okay.
Just try to remember it, and don't let me forget if you can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It would be getting a little bit into the afternoon since y'all have been covering a lot of ground on foot. It hadn't been like a huge amount of ground like per travel section thing, but I mean like between a few stops and a few shops, and the travel time and such, y'all would be getting like a bit into the afternoon. So yeah, it's not quite to the point of like getting to dusk or anything, but yeah, that's where we are. Just giving you an update on time and such.
All right. Well, either you getting really hungry, DG doesn't eat.
I don't eat.
You do eat. That is not a thing that your race gets away with.
Oh, come on. I'm undead. I shouldn't need to eat.
I was eating snacks while I was waiting, on my way to the castle.
Oh boy.
I mean, like, you're a variety of undead, but you are actually, like, properly alive in a functioning body. You're not, like, it is an actual, like, living race. It's just a living race of people who have been, like, brought back. It's more of, like...
Yeah, you're not a rotting corpse.
Yeah.
I want to be a rotting corpse.
Yeah. Sorry.
Damn it.
You just listen to the disappointment.
Just disappointment all over the place right now.
Yeah. See, these are the things that we need to like talk about. This is why I've been trying to get you to talk to me about your character for like 2 weeks.
Well, whatever.
But
I'll
yeah,
just buy 3 pounds of. Yeah, buy 3 pounds of steak. I'll take that.
oh, okay. So we're just all buying like a bunch of raw meat to have for lunch.
Okay. Do you have anything?
God damn it, Higgs.
Yep.
Okay.
I got 5 days of rations, so it's probably fine.
Only 5?
I think it's
Huh.
5.
I-
Wonders.
I mean, that would.
We've lost
Yeah,
one
I'm
of our
pretty
friends.
Oh, well, okay. Chris is gone. Where
Wonders of.
Ask
are
the
you?
other people who are still around if I should buy more rations. 5 days? Meh? Could always forage for stuff if we're out wandering yon countryside.
With the kind of meat we're getting already, gets enough to feed us for another, I'd say 2, maybe 3 days. Especially with how sparingly we eat.
All right, Strum.
Let's go follow Chris. See where she's going.
Alright.
Where are we going, Chris? Food stall. Okay. Yeah, you wouldn't have too much trouble finding a food stall. You probably would have trouble finding chips.
Just
fish
so.
Fish and
Potatoes,
chips.
maybe? Like British
um,
chips?
let's see.
Potatoes.
Oh god, how do I describe the thing that I had in mind? Because I'm actually betting it would be the kind of thing that you would probably be into.
Boy, the mashed
Ooh,
potatoes.
it wouldn't be exactly this, but along the lines of like Korean barbecue on like a stick, on like a kebab. Would probably be like the kind of food stall you might end up running across. Would be a kind anyway.
No, yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah. That was like the
Sure.
first thing that came to mind. If you wanted to keep looking past that, I could come up with something else. I don't know if I would be able to give you like junk food as like modern day kind of junk food though.
Works for me.
Yeah, that wouldn't really fit in a fantasy setting.
Yeah. Would that work for you, Chris, or should I keep thinking?
Who knew I'd be leading a bunch of children?
Yeah.
Damn it, Higgs, I love you.
No. But like Jester from the mid 1800s.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. There were also firearms back then as well, and those didn't come up until the mid 1800s. So
Yeah, this.
actually, no, early 1700s. No, late 1700s.
Yeah, the kind of setting that I was thinking would be
So it'd
something
be like
pre-Renaissance.
Yeah. So chips aren't a thing.
So hot potato. Yeah, hot potato would be something you could acquire.
Hot potato with butter. Call it a baked potato.
Just a
Yeah.
fried potato on a stick. Whole potato, not cut or anything, just
Well,
Eat it raw.
crunchy.
yeah.
Like
So you would be able to
tastes like not great.
acquire yourself a hot potato. And yeah, it would probably be the kind of thing that they would be able to offer stuff like some basic condiments. Like some diced onions would be something you could acquire. They might have some chives. But simple stuff. So you would be able to get yourself a hot potato and give it some seasoning and such. I'm surprised you didn't want meat.
I'll buy a mystery meat on a stick.
Okay. It wouldn't be that mysterious. As a matter of fact, it would probably be like pretty much like right outside the. Yeah, it would be just right outside the butcher shop. They would just have that as a thing that you could get.
Makes sense.
As kind of a way for them to advertise their goods while also just having effectively a side business. So yeah, if you wanted to still purchase like would you still want to purchase the ribs and stuff, or is that what it was for?
That's what it was for, but
Okay.
if we're already going on this, then it's probably a little cheaper.
And I didn't buy any meat.
Okay, so
However, Higgs, do you still want the steaks or?
Yeah, I'll go with a cheaper option.
All right.
okay, all right. So y'all get some. So y'all acquire one hot potato and some meat sticks. Y'all just have yourselves a grand old munching time. It would probably be the kind of thing that you would relatively easily be able to move while eating, unless you wanted to find a place to sit down. Given that there are food stalls and that there are like actual social areas, it wouldn't be too difficult to do so if you so desired.
Ew, no social areas for me.
So do we take any cost of that off of our monies?
Yeah, I'm thinking on it. I'll figure out. I'll get with y'all to figure out like what y'all need to deduct financially.
I would be thinking like a couple or a few gold pieces.
Are you throwing out random numbers, Chris, or is there something behind that?
Probably
You're too
random.
silver.
Because I don't know about you, but that's also true.
Oh,
I forgot about the 2 silvers in the game.
you know what? Make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
Oh, she's... What? Are you making her steal? Again?
I'm
No.
making her cheese her way into getting cheap meat.
There you go.
Okay, that's good enough.
Pass.
That I'll give it to you. Sure. Yeah, that's above a 15 is enough to make me happy. So yeah, that above 15 is definitely enough to make me happy. Below that, I probably would have added some role play to it. But yeah, we're good with that. So congratulations, you managed to fool a stall keeper into thinking that 2 silver was in fact some amount of gold. In fact, we'll say it was supposed to be 2 gold per thing. Everybody just deduct 2 gold that is willing to be honest. She's trying to, and she gets hers for 2 silver.
Is it 2 or 4?
2.
2.
Okay.
2 for
with
all of
both
us.
things together. Okay. Now I can move the hot potato and the hot meat stick from my inventory.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I guess we go find a quiet place and eat.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Mr. Dark and Gloomy over there doesn't want any company besides us.
Yeah. So y'all would be able to find what is effectively a food court. Like if you've been to a mall and you've seen a food court, you probably have an idea of what I'm talking about. Just like outdoors though. And so it would be just simple tables scattered across an open area. It would be pretty easy to find one that's like off to like an edge of the area that's unoccupied and might have like surrounding tables also unoccupied. So you would be able to kind of isolate yourself on that.
Is this spot good?
Should I play a song? I
Go
am
ahead.
do that.
I'll let you only get away with this one.
Where's the nearest cliff?
It's quite far
about
away.
another 100 miles from here.
God damn it.
I am very knowledgeable on where the cliffs are now.
Are you positioning yourself such that you are playing your song for your group, or are you like what are you doing?
Play over there, away from me, at least 50 feet away.
Just kind of stand on the table with potatoes shoved in my mouth, just blingy blong, blong, blongity bling. Obviously, there's no
Okay.
lyrics because I've got a potato in my mouth, but.
Make a performance check.
Okay.
Falls off the table and breaks his neck. Oop, there goes the Oliver.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Eh.
You play a nice song. It's a decent little ditty. But it's nothing that really particularly like sticks out and starts drawing attention. So people might pass by and give you a little bit of a smile and like some approval as they're going by.
Yes.
But nobody like sticks around. You don't amass a crowd of any kind. It seems like the best result for everybody.
Start tapping my foot to the tune. Subtly.
Performance Oliver 10? Gross.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Okay, I didn't choke on the potato after all.
Okay. I think since it's 11:30 and I do need to work tomorrow, I'm probably
No.
going to call it as of the conclusion for y'all's conversing at this particular table. So if you would like to have any interactions while you're at this table and munching on stuff, by all means, have right at it. Once we're done with that, though, I think that's going to be it for the session.
Alright.
Jesus Christ.
A passing sorcerer notices you making those particular motions and casts counterspell.
No. Overruled.
I'm sure those were gestures of appreciation for my beautiful music.
Yeah. We're not actually doing that. I'm not letting you waste your second spell slot for literally no reason.
You don't.
No reason, I think.
Can you get another mage to just cast a permanent counterspell?
I mean, I could have somebody come by and ensure that you enjoy your snacks in silence.
Please do.
The snack police.
Oh, God.
Please.
Oh, my God.
There's a sign that says, no spells in food court, please. And Higgs, being the honest dead person he is, doesn't. I'm sure.
Let me actually check something. Hold on.
Or Death, what's his face? Gravedigger? Death
I'm gonna
Smeller?
change my name now.
I don't know.
Gravedigger.
I'm changing my name.
Nerd.
No.
Because I wish if you could click on the people's things, it would show their name, but it doesn't. Oops.
I think I can make that happen. Actually, hold on.
How do you delete stuff? I don't.
What do you mean? Oh, the art and stuff?
Yeah. Or is that not a thing I can do?
There you go.
Well, you can do it. I apparently can't.
Apparently, it's under the brush option.
Oops.
Well,
there's draw shape, freehand, polygon line, text.
Okay, yeah, and clear drawings is below that. So
yeah, I don't have it.
We don't have the option to.
Let's see.
So that's a DM thing.
This is me running away.
Oh, you changed your name again?
See, we can't.
I would be directed towards you, Higgs.
See what your
you
name
changed
is.
your name again?
Yeah.
We can't see it unless you do a message as that.
Oh.
Don't spoil me now, Higgs.
I don't think.
All right, come on, stop lagging.
Yeah, it's lagging on me.
Whoop.
Hi,
Ulbert.
Chris.
Ulbert, okay. Or Ulbert.
Ulbert.
Ulbert, okay.
Yeah, Ulbert.
Okay. Oh, Chris already bounced. Okay.
Yep.
No.
Where the
Well,
hell did
this
you
is
go,
fun.
Nate?
Where did what?
Oh, there you are. I
I'm
couldn't find your token for a second.
Where did Nate go? Like, basically, Nate was drawing all over this thing.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
That was me
Oh.
running away from you.
Started as me drawing a penis. And then it all went down south.
Oh, good.
Nope.
Oh,
That's what I meant to do. Don't know what these numbers are. Or the red dots.
Wait, what are you? Numbers and red dots?
Like when you click on the token.
Oh,
There's like a red
then
circle, green circle, blue circle.
yeah, the numbers in the circles are associated with bars that are like, for example, the green bar above your character. Excuse me. That's your current HP. If you were to acquire temporary hit points, that would go into the blue circle, and a blue bar would appear over your character to denote that.
Mac.
And the red bar is another thing that can appear, but is currently undefined.
Okay.
That was a good first session.
I agree.
gee. Most of us are dicking around.
Yeah, most of us are dicking around, and I'm the only one that's like, all right, time to take this seriously.
Yeah,
No, we're not.
we actually managed to accomplish something while also being retarded.
Mission successful.
No, I'm kind of glad I pointed myself group leader of the group.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Which usually goes to the person with the most charisma, but here we are.
Nope. Mine's more specialized.
Who left?
Chris. Oh, that was Chris. She says goodnight to everybody.
Alright.
Oh, probably over in the Discord.
No, she
No.
like, yeah, just to me. To relay to y'all, basically.